What machines, when you walk into a casino, have the best odds? I know most people walk in, they hear these stories that like the ones closest to the entrance have like the worst odds or the best odds.
They have
and
the
I
best odds, yeah, 'cause it's marketing.
The best odds because they want you to win a little bit. Or there's the fallacy that like your first time playing, they want you to win a little bit in the beginning. Like, is there any truth to any of these claims?
No. I believe no. Because like changing the payout on a machine is a good deal of effort, and it's all very regulated. They have to open the thing up, and then there's a log, and there's a process, and it's like a software, and it's just not that simple. And they don't change it on like Tuesday mornings, and then turn it back tight on Friday night, and I highly doubt that there's any truth to the ones by the entrance. I would take the under on that. The best games in the casino slot wise are video poker. The video poker's way better than slots as far as, so if you want to play and earn comps and stuff, you go play video poker, learn how to play. That's another thing that like you asked earlier about the good and bad gamblers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, the people I watch them, the holds that they make that are just mathematically just horrendous. Like they'll be like, oh, I've got a pair of queens, but I also have like ace jack to the royal. I'm going to hold that. It's like a 10,000 to 1 shot or whatever versus like a for sure payout. Anyway, so the best game is video poker.
Interesting. And what about the ones where I see that seem to go viral online? Someone saying they got paid a lot of money, but the casino refuses to honor that because of an error. And they say, oh, no, that was an error on the slot. You didn't actually win the money.
I think those are probably blown out of proportion more than maybe reality. That doesn't really happen, I don't think.
I mean, maybe I know what you're talking about, and it probably has happened, but maybe there's more to the story than meets the eye.
Yeah, exactly. There's more to it than
the gaming control board is very that's a very serious thing, and it's all very, very regulated. And I don't know if there possibly was some reason. They make enough money. I don't think they need to beat people. I mean, there was probably like 1 or 2 instances of that ever, and yeah, I mean, I think it's blown. I've always gotten paid. I've never had them say like, oh, we had $120,000 the other day on a Buffalo Link, and they were overjoyed to pay us
cash in like 25 minutes. I think people always ask like, are the machines rigged? It's like a very common question. And like, are they cheat? It's like, well, they are rigged because the house has an advantage. Why would they go out of their way to rig it further? They're already winning. They don't need to cheat. I don't think people need to get that out of their head.
No.
Is there ever a time that you don't want to be gambling?
Sometimes I would get tired of the losing, like, I mean, one of the my friends said, that's been a gambler full time forever, said, winning streaks and losing streaks always last longer than you think is humanly possible. So it is a very streaky business. It's the math is the math over an infinite time horizon, but sometimes you can sit down at a machine and it'll be very hot, and then sometimes you can sit down at a machine and you just can't win anything. So like if you have like 3 or 4 days in a row where you lose $15,000, $20,000 and you just can't seem to get anything, and it gets frustrating. And I've had my moments where I don't feel like gambling, but still to this day, like last night we were just talking about at the break, I went out to Red Rock and just gambled for entertainment. Wasn't filming or anything. People walking up to me like, where's the crew? I'm like, oh, I'm just here moving on, playing Baccarat.
Yeah.
That's
it. So how are the machines though for slots designed to keep you playing? Because I've noticed there was one machine that really bugged me a while ago. It was the balloon one. I lost so much money. It was Resorts World, and they had this one slot machine that you put money in and you hit like certain things and it made the balloons like get bigger and bigger and bigger.
We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Perceived progression or persistence. So the animation on the screen, the balloon will get bigger, the sparklers will get more full, the piles of gems will get bigger. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that bonus hasn't hit in a while. It's not more due than it was before when you started playing it.
Oh, really? It just means it hasn't hit.
Essentially, it's what it means. It's just a fun gimmick for people to think that they're closer.
It's a visual representation.
We've lost a lot of money
chasing that
as if that was real. It's not. There is real persistence on some machines, but not those animated.
So how can you tell if it's real versus fake persistence? You were saying a guaranteed payout of 10,000. If someone wanted to walk around for like 3 weeks straight to try to find a slot machine that has a guaranteed payout, like how could they differentiate that?
Well, they'd be competing with about hundreds and hundreds of people that just like walk around the casinos nonstop looking for these, 6 or 7 plays that exist.
Yeah, you could go to a machine. Like we could sit you down next to a machine and I'd say, watch how many people come by here and poke this. Like every 2 minutes, somebody will come and poke it. You can Google advantage play, but like I said, it's very competitive and there's not really any money in it.
It's the discipline it takes to make money at it. Again, it's like everything. You'd have to be so smart and work so hard. At this point in time, like it's getting harder and harder and harder as more and more people know about it. And a lot of casinos are taking out all of the advantage play machines out of the casinos anyway. And even if you play something that is in an advantageous situation, you can still get completely and entirely wrecked.
Yeah. Just because you're a 1% favorite doesn't mean you're going to win money every time. You can still lose $50,000 easily.
So is there a certain machine that you should play? Or are the odds better on one machine versus another? How could you tell that as a player?
Slot machines or?
The slot machines.
Just play the ones you enjoy. I think that's what we should preach here is whatever you're having the most fun on, play that. And you're never going to get an advantage on it. Playing high limit is another example. Sometimes the household will be 2% less if you play in high limit. So if you're betting $5 a spin and you're max betting a machine on the regular floor, but you can go into high limit and the minimum bet's 5, play there because the household might be a little bit less in high limit.
And how do you know when to walk away?
Well, we never do.
Well, I mean, that's, there's like literally, like those brochures in every casino, like, call 1-800-GAMBLER or whatever it is. I mean, it's like any addictive behavior, how does you tell the alcoholic when to leave the bar? I mean, the reality is bars are still legal. Like it's been kind of an interesting topic. I mean, because whenever you're talking about anything controversial, it's like, well, who ultimately there's self-responsibility, right? Or is the government in charge of everything that we do?
No.
What we do for a living, if we gamble, if we drink, if we do drugs, it's like, oh, well, if it's bad, it should be illegal. And then I'm not, that's not how I really roll, but the answer is how to walk away. If you're losing too much, if losing money, you're playing with money you can't afford to lose, that's a great time to walk away. We're in a really great situation now in that, we have YouTube revenue, we have merch revenue, we have, endorsement revenue, we have, we can't lose anymore. So that's kind of fun. I mean, we lose, but net, we're not going to lose, but the average person who watches we were, thanks to EJ, I think, and Robert, amongst the first to really show the truth about gambling. Our show's more like almost a podcast. We talk, we gamble, we talk about all kinds of different stuff. We have the question of the day. We have all our funny sayings. I do my wacky, wrap ups, and the gambling is just kind of happens. But we were the first ones to really show our losses. Because, it used to just be like, oh, I push the button and I get a big jackpot right away, and it's like just not true. Gambling is a losing proposition. So when to walk away, do not lose your rent money because you could go and get completely wrecked. Like, I mean, you can sometimes, it's just uncanny. Like, remember the other day?
You lose way more than you expect you can sometimes, like the other day.
We played this machine at Resorts World, and we did great. It was a new machine. And, I mean, it was an incredible video, and it was like, wow, I love this new machine, and I'm like, man, the machine manufacturer should give us $1 million for this video. It's so good. So then, like, a week or two later, it showed up at El Cortez, and we went to El Cortez to play it. And again, just random. It's a random number generator. Every time you push the button, that there's 10,000 different outcomes that could possibly happen, or whatever the number is, and one of those 10,000 outcomes is going to come up. It's a mathematical random number generator. Then there's a percentage of time or whatever, and over an infinite horizon, you're going to lose about 5% of what you put in. But the second time we played that machine, we lost $53,000 in the course of an hour, and I think we hold the record, I believe. At El Cortez, that the manager, our good friend over there, told us, he goes, you guys just set the single machine record for losing the most of anyone in history. So
at that property, yeah.
I'm going to call the people at Guinness. not the bigger.
So I've always been curious about this, slightly off topic, but when you press the number or when you press the, the go on the slot machine, is every time randomized or is it like preset where it's like the 7th time this gets clicked?
So the way I've learned to think about it is if you imagine a giant roulette wheel with, like you said, 10,000 different outcomes, every time you push the button, you're spinning that wheel and you can get one of those different outcomes. So you can get the 0 outcome an infinite number of times, or you can get the spectacular outcome 7 times in a row. The household is going to be what the household is over time, just like it is on a real roulette wheel. It's the same kind of thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
That's how it is, and sorry to interrupt you, but the like what you see, like the wolves or the 7s or the cherries or whatever, that's just a visual representation that's pre-programmed in. When the second you push that button, your outcome is determined, and it might be a 5-minute long bonus with with squirrels running around with nuts and shitting out gold nuggets or whatever the case may be. I don't know if you can swear on this, but that was trying to be funny. But my point is that was predetermined, that you're going to win $17,412 and the greatest bonus in history on a $1.20 bet. That's the 1 in 10,000 on the roulette wheel outcome that comes up like every 30 days maybe.
But it's generated when you push the button because in theory you could randomize it for future. Right? Like you could say the next 10 things, like when you get the 10 free spins, it randomizes as soon as you press that one button that one time, it knows you're going to get 10 free spins. And it also then randomizes the 10 free spins at the exact same time.
Probably. I mean, you could invite someone from Aristocrat or Light and Wonder or IGT or what are the different ones? There's a bunch of different manufacturers that make the machines who really, that would be the real person to ask. Because like,
that would be interesting.
As a disclaimer, it's like, I don't know. I mean, we don't know everything, but I've been told what the answers that we're giving you by people that I believe know what they're talking about. And I believe it's a random number generator and it's completely and utterly random. And I believe that it's all very regulated and that's how it is. And I think your roulette analogy is really, really good. There's 10,000 possible outcomes, push a button, it's like, boom, oh, that's what it is. And then the rest of it's just fluff.